So I'm going to try and keep my voice down, but I want you to get excited with me. So this video is going to give you a free bonus. So if you have been interested in my workshops at all and want to see what a live video is like nowadays, you have the option of viewing the whole chakra workshop, but that was a while ago. And for the rest of this video, after I do my little intro, you guys will have access to one of the live videos from my Sacred Space workshop that just completed in December. And that workshop, that one video is about shadow work. And I'm having you guys watch that one because I have a new workshop starting on Tuesday, January 20th, 2015, all on shadow work. So if you don't know what it is, I will talk more about it in this little intro and also in the longer video that will come after. So I am being a bit more aggressive about telling you guys about this one just because I feel like everyone needs shadow work and many of you are really ready for it. So if you don't know at all what shadow work is, it is really accessing the parts of yourself that you try to push away, that you think are negative, and that maybe you learned as a child shouldn't be there, and so you push it away. And the reason I really want people involved in this workshop is because I think the way that I do shadow work, it's not that scary. I think a lot of people are very scared of shadow work. I am not doing trauma work with people. I've done that. I'm a licensed independent clinical social worker, but that's not what we're going to do in an online group type setting. So what we are going to do is really look at the things that irritate us, that bug us, that get us to sort of overreact. And those are usually hidden parts of ourselves or things that we really try to change in ourselves. And change is good, but sometimes we try to push things to the back instead of really looking at them and integrating them. And almost everything, every characteristic has some positive side. So looking at different characteristics and finding the positive in them and pulling that forward instead of just trying to push the whole thing to the background. So I want you guys to get really excited with me. I will have the sign-up information down in the description if you are interested, but here's some of the things I want you to get excited about. So I was gifted a gift certificate from a wonderful member of my tribe, and I, of course, ran out and bought oracle cards with them. So this is the one that I have been dying to have for this workshop, and I was probably going to buy it one way or the other, but I wasn't quite sure if it was really going to be good for shadow work or not. And now that I have it, it is so perfect. So this is the card that I pulled the other day, and this is the Fairy of the Divine Hand. And it was talking to me about addictions and things that I've been a little obsessed about. So I'm just going to randomly pull a card for this workshop and see what it is. The Three Fates, what comes around. So I am taking that to say that you are fated to take this workshop with me. If you feel really called to the workshop and you can't afford to sign up, please reach out to me. Really, my goal is for people to have access to all of this because I've been doing shadow work for a little while now, and it has really radically changed my life. I have been able to weather some difficult times recently, and I think it's because I've been doing shadow work and I've been able to really look at what triggers me and causes me to fly off the handle, and that a lot of it is rooted in some real childhood issues, not trauma per se, but just, you know, in order to function in this world as children, we create boxes for ourselves. We learn what's good and what's bad, and we learn that from our parents. So I talk about that more in the upcoming video, but you know, if you grew up in a household where you were told you couldn't cry, that you were being a crybaby, that you need to push that aside, then you may not be able to access that part of your feelings, and it may come out in like crying ridiculously at commercials and not crying at the death of a loved one, like things like that you know are just kind of skewed and you may not know why. So the other cards that I got, because I did go a little hog wild since I got this gift certificate, is the Gilded Reverie Lenormand, I don't know how you pronounce it, cards. So these are a different set of cards than I am used to, but this is by Ciro Marchetti, and he made the cards that are my favorite tarot cards, which are the Gilded Tarot, and they are just gorgeous. And these are gorgeous as well. You can see they're a smaller deck. I think they're only 26. But here, I'll pull one and see what we get. Number 9. And let's see what that is. So the reason I'm showing these to you is if you take one of my workshops, at the end of every live video, and there are 7, actually there's going to be 8 because one of my group members has requested a Google Hangout at the end. So we're going to do 7 formal videos, and then we're going to do a Google Hangout on the 8th week, and they will be Tuesday nights. You don't have to make them live. You can't. A lot of people don't make them live. They watch them the next day, but they're fun if you can make them live. They're usually at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but you'll still get the benefits of the group if you don't. So the flower says, "Beauty and a happy face is what I bring. I am the gift that warms your heart. I am your recovery and your well-being. No matter what card is before me, I will always change it positively." That is really a beautiful card because it's the way I do readings. I tend to feel that when Spirit gives me a card, they are not going to tell me horrible, horrible things are going to happen in your life. They might say, watch out for this, so this doesn't happen. But what is the benefit of Spirit giving me cards that say, this terrible thing's going to happen and you can't do anything about it? That's not... I don't think that's useful, and I just don't think that's the way that the energies around me work. I think sometimes they give me some warnings, but for the most part they're saying, this is what's going to happen, keep plugging with it. It's my support, it's my guidance, it gives me motivation. And that's the way I do readings for you guys too. So that flowers card is kind of a nice one because I think it applies to me, and it's telling you that none of the readings I'm going to do for you are going to be scary either. They are all going to be pointing you in the right direction. And again, if there's the possibility of something bad coming up, then the cards are going to tell you how to try to avoid that and what other path you could take. So that is the way that I read. And the big part that you are not going to see from this video is the wonderful connections that we make in this tribe of mine. So everyone who joins the workshop is put in a Facebook group specifically for this workshop, and we go in regularly and chat with one another. Once a week I will put up written material from a workbook. It's not a ton to read. It's usually about 20 pages worth of written material, and a lot of it is activities, things for you to do to keep you kind of going through the week and thinking about the workshop during the week. I put that in the Facebook, and then I'll also email it to you the day before our live video for each week. You will get a full copy of the PDF at the end, and that will also include all of the meditations written out. So they will be slightly different because I don't copy them word for word from the video, but very similar, written out at the end as well. And we get to know each other really well in this group. Now, if that scares you, there are some people who don't, who I've gotten to know over time, but they don't write extensively in the Facebook group. They don't write much in the comments in the live video. That's okay too. Or like I said, they can't make the live videos, and so they'll maybe check in the Facebook group afterwards so they can keep connected, but they're not able to comment on the live videos until afterwards. That is fine too. If you really just want to lurk, that's all right as well. I may check in with you and say, is everything okay? But as long as you're fine with that. But if you are looking for a group to connect with, this is a wonderful group. It's been the most beneficial thing of 2014 for me, is to have this group to turn to. So that is the part you won't see a whole lot in the live video. But know that we are there, and when you see me sort of chatting and pausing and looking off to the sides, because I'm reading all the comments of the people that are coming in. And I'm going to just talk very briefly about the setup of the video. So this is an ASMR workshop, and the reason that I call it ASMR is because I'm going to do an ASMR role play before all of the guided meditations, so that will help you to relax and get you into a place where guided meditation is not a struggle. It's just going to be something you fall into. If you are not familiar with ASMR and you're finding this video, ASMR is a sensation that people have. It's a tingling, usually on the back of the head, and it can radiate down the limbs, and a lot of people have that in reaction to a whisper or soft-spoken voice, or personal attention of some sort. There are a lot of triggers for different people. Different things trigger different people. Certain sounds trigger many people. And so when I do my workshops, I'm going to start off by sort of chatting, just to let people get into the group and see how people are doing, let them know what that day we're going to be talking about. Then I'm going to go into a role play where I give you personal attention to get you to relax, and then we do a guided meditation, and then a little bit more role play after the guided meditation to get you out and sort of bring you back into your body. If you do not have an ASMR reaction where the back of your head doesn't tingle, that's fine. It still is usually very relaxing for people, even if they don't have that reaction. So if you're new to that, it does not mean that you won't enjoy the workshop. And then I do readings for everybody. So I usually, the first week, will do a 3-card tarot reading for everyone. And then each week after that, I start using the oracle cards. And the very final week is usually a long video, because I do personalized meditations for everyone. So I'll take everyone in a group of 3, and I'll do a personalized meditation that's usually in 3 segments, and each one is for a specific person in that group, and you'll know which one is yours. So I think that's about it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Even if shadow work doesn't call to you, which is fine, there is the option of getting the entire Destiny workshop for free on my website. That's the first paid workshop that I did. And all you have to do is go and sign up on my website, and I'll send you that PDF with almost 8 hours worth of video that goes along with it. And then the last workshop was the Sacred Space workshop, and that's available as well. You can get that on my website, which I will put below. You can also get it on Amazon in paper form, and you can get it on Amazon Kindle, but without the videos, so all the meditations are written out. So if that interests you, that's available as well. And the chakra workshop is free right on my YouTube channel, down below, the whole thing. And also a rejuvenation retreat is free down below. There's a playlist for it, so that gives you a lot of options if you want to try those out before committing to another paid workshop. But the live aspect is really nice, and the interaction with other members is really beneficial. So if you like these and they call to you, it is nice to do one live. And again, reach out to me if you have any issues with it, but really feel like you want to be in the workshop. So I hope to see some of you on Tuesday. We have a pretty full group, but I can open up other sessions if people are interested, so that everybody gets a reading. And shadow work is going to be pretty powerful. So it will be powerful, but not scary. I promise. I promise. And you'll have the support of everybody in the group as well. So I think it's going to be really, really meaningful for people. I know it has been for me. And I'm speaking from my heart to all of you. You guys are very important to me, and the connections I've gotten with people in these workshops has really changed my life. So, alright, I'm going to leave that to you because it's going to be a long video already. So, I will check in again soon. Okay, bye-bye. Hi guys. I'm so glad so many of you are already here. I am going to give a little bit of a warning. So there have been big announcements on YouTube that they are doing some sort of maintenance tonight. It's not supposed to start till 10 p.m. if they don't say what time, so I'm assuming they are factoring in where they think I am, I guess. I don't know if they know that. I don't know if they know that. Okay, but it says 10 p.m. So I'm assuming East Coast time would be the earliest time, and that things will shut down on Google Hangouts. And if you have a Google Hangout that's still going, it won't ever end, and all kinds of mayhem. We should be done long before 10 o'clock. But I'm just giving a warning. Whenever they say they're going to be doing stuff, there may be problems. So I hope not. I hope they really don't start until 10 and they don't mess around with anything prior to that. But I just wanted to give you guys a warning. So if I like disappear and I can't come back, it's because they won't let you start a new Google Hangout once they've started doing maintenance. So I don't expect that to happen, but it could. And I'm very excited for tonight. Tonight is a really big night. So I kind of wanted to start off by talking about these workshops and why I do them, because it's very pertinent to what we're going to do in meditation tonight. So I am usually about 6 months ahead of you guys. So I am doing my meditations, and when I find things that are really powerful for me, I want to turn them into a workshop so that I hope they will have the same benefit for you. So I really started off with creating this inner temple probably about 9 months ago, and it has so greatly changed my life that I really just wanted to bring it to all of you. And what I've been doing most recently is shadow work. So shadow work is finding ways to integrate all of the different parts of yourself. So I've talked about it a little bit. When a lot of our shadow is created when we are children, and we are just trying to figure out the world. So one of the things that I feel a little bit differently about shadow work than I think some other people, when you do a lot of reading about shadow work, I often feel like it's blaming in some ways, our parents and our culture for culturating us. So I was kind of rereading through the Four Agreements last night, and they talk about domesticating the people when they're children. And the counselor in me, I understand that terminology, and I understand when you hit a certain age that you start to question a lot of what you've been told is fact, is the way the world is law, is. But there is also a benefit, especially for young children, for learning the rules of society. So the example that I always give is, and I apologize if I'm willing to have a debate about this because I know a little bit about it and not a whole bunch. But I love Montessori. I love Montessori schools. I think they are wonderful. I think they're a wonderful place for kids to learn how to learn and learn that learning can be fun. But the one problem I have with Montessori, and the reason my son does not go to a Montessori school, is because where I live, there is not a Montessori high school. I don't even think there's a Montessori junior high. So in many ways, it seems cruel to do to your child and to do to the teachers in a public school or private school that's not Montessori, to teach your child that this is the way that you learn, and then have them go to a school where there are many more rules, where and they have not been acculturated to that. So and again, I'm willing to debate it with you. There are probably people who know a lot more about Montessori than I do. My parents were both teachers, so I know a bit about it. And I know some of the teachers who had Montessori kids, and often the Montessori kids were kind of seen as troublemakers just because they weren't used to learning in the style that you learn in a public school. And so, raising our children, I'm also currently raising a small child, and I'm reading all these books about shadow, which is really interesting to do right when you're raising a child, because it really talks about how as children we're free and we get to do whatever we want, and then our parents come in and they tell us we can't do this and we can't do that and we can't. And the reality is I live with my child in society. And if my child acts like a freewheeling, can do whatever they want monster, which is what most people would see that as in many public places, they're not going to be treated very well by the rest of society. Even if I was like, yes, you're wonderful, you can do whatever you want, you're so creative and free and lovely, and the rest of society is not going to treat that child very well. And that doesn't seem fair to do your child either. So we have to teach our child rules. And children have very black and white thinking. So when you tell them don't do something, it often translates to small children as that makes me bad. And I try to be really careful about how I teach those things to my child. I don't withhold love. My child knows that I always love him no matter what. Sometimes I don't like his behaviors, and I try to use natural consequences. So if he's being really obnoxious and mean to me, which he often does. He's at the age where he hates me and I am mean to him and I hurt his feelings whenever I tell him not to do something. But when he's being nasty to me, which he is quite often, I don't punish him, but I tell him that when he's treating me like that, I don't want to play with him. It doesn't make me want to play with him. So I don't walk away from him. I don't ignore him, but I won't play games with him until he starts treating me right. And that teaches things to our children. That teaches them, like, I know in our house, my child is learning, you don't scream and yell in public. And sometimes I worry about it because you don't scream and yell, because my husband and I both have very low audio tolerances, even though we're both musicians. And I think that may be why when we hear music, we focus on it very directly, and it's very hard for us to focus on anything else. And my son screaming at the top of his lungs, which I know some parents can tolerate, and they let their kids do that. And if they have 3 or 4 kids, they probably have no choice. So they have to have more noise in their house. I have 1 child, so I am able to say, use your indoor voice. We need, but he, reading all these shadow books, I may be teaching my child that you can't stand out. You can't, I don't know. So the reason I mention this is that I do think you kind of have to acculturate your child unless you're going to live in a cave. So I think what we end up doing when we get a little bit older is we start to let go of some of what we learned, again, because whether you're trying to teach your child in black and white, whether you're trying to teach your child that this is good and this is bad and there's no gray, which I don't think most parents are trying to. A lot of kids see it that way anyway, because that's just the way their brains work. So what that does is when we learn that something is bad, or, people could say, I am teaching my child that when he expresses his negative emotions by saying he hates me, that I am withdrawing attention from him, and he is learning that he can't express his negative emotions. That's what some of these books read to me. And you never know. Kids are different, so some child could interpret it that way. I try to be very careful to make sure my child doesn't feel that way, but you never know. Kids, I don't know about you, but I know we have a lot of readers in this group, and I am telling you that a lot of my acculturation came from books. I mean, I learned that if you are a bit too curious about things, you're probably, I read a lot of fantasy novels where a lot of heroes and heroines got into a lot of trouble by being too curious about things they were supposed to kind of leave alone. So kids get acculturated by everything, and there's going to be a point very, very soon when my son gets acculturated by other kids. So, and he probably already is to an extent. So what we do in regards to that is we create these black and white, this is a bad part of me that I have. So for my son, it could be being loud and standing out is a bad part of me, and I need to hide that in order to get approval from my parents. And I think we all got this sometimes in what, looking back, seem very normal ways that parents acculturate, and sometimes it was very traumatic and it was very abusive. That happens a lot too with shadow work, that we learn something from a very scary situation, that something was not safe. But even for people who did not grow up in really traumatic and scary situations, we still learned what we needed to hide to get the love and approval that we wanted. So I'm just going to read the comments quick. Really? So you did the homeschool, Robin? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I thought about it. We've actually thought about it since both of my parents are teachers. And I think we're going to kind of wing it and see what he wants as he grows up. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's not in elementary school yet. We have an elementary school that's literally across the street from our house. And I think there is some benefit to being across the street from your parents' home, and being in a place where you feel very, very comfortable because you've played there since you were a baby. So I think we're going to start him off there. but it's also a public school, so we'll see how it goes. Um, I, you know, I don't know. We went through a very tough time with my sister where she was really being bullied, and she probably should have been pulled out of her school, and she wasn't. And I really won't let that happen with my child, I don't think. As long as if I know there's a problem, I'm going to kind of be demanding in certain ways, but whether he wants to or not, because I think, kids are really scared of change, sometimes more than really bad. They like the devil they know rather than the devil they don't. So my sister didn't move to another school because she just said she didn't want to. So yeah, I'm looking at a lot of different options. We will have to probably do private school for high school because the local public schools here are pretty rough for high school, but we're going to see how it goes. So, oh, you know someone who did the second. Okay, I thought you said you were going to. Oh, you did the first. You know someone who did the second. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I went to college at 16, so I don't think my son will do that, partially because since my husband is a college professor, my son gets free ride to college as long as he gets in. And with what colleges cost right now, and since it is a good school, it's not a terrible school, he may have to get some good scholarships. And the school that I went to, while not crazy expensive at the time that I went, I think is pretty crazy expensive now because they all are now. So, Kate, we are happy you're here. Becky, we're happy you're here. Hi, Tom. Hi, Guy. I said hi to you guys earlier. So I think there are probably a few more people watching too. So the reason I'm bringing this up is we are doing some shadow work today. So I've been doing shadow work, and I'm starting up the shadow workshop in January. I actually looked at the calendar today and figured out the date. So it'll start, I believe, on the 20th, which is that third Tuesday, I think, in January, and it'll go through to actually March 3rd, because that was seven Tuesdays. So it should really be fascinating. The work that I've been doing on my own has really been fascinating, and it's something that you do over and over throughout your life, because we're kind of never done with shadow work. So we're going to do a little piece of it tonight, basically because this has been a room in my inner temple for a while. So now I live in it a lot more than I did in the beginning. And I didn't realize it was a shadow room when I first started there, until some shadows started coming out, and that's when I started reading up on shadow work. So I wanted to share it with you. For those of you who really are interested in it, the link below can sign you up for the January workshop. But I think it should be really interested. Let's see. Yeah, I may want to talk homeschooling at some point. Really, I'd be really interested in talking to you about the community college thing, because I didn't know I had that option, and luckily my college that would take you at 16 without a high school diploma kind of fell in my lap, and I don't know how I would have made it through the end of high school. Not that I wasn't doing bad in high school, I just hated it. So that is shadow work. If you guys have any questions about shadow work, please ask me, either here in comments or on the Facebook group. I'd be more than happy to talk about it. And it actually might even help me kind of formulate in words my feelings about it. For those of you who kind of have interacted with me for a while, you know that I really don't like writing, although I'm liking more writing meditations. And part of it is because I just don't express myself very well that way. So I will never be strictly a book writer. When I did workshops, more corporate workshops, I also really focused on the experience, because as a counselor, one of the things I learned is you learn so much more by going through an experience than by somebody telling you something. So it's one of the reasons I really gravitate to doing these meditations. So I'm more than willing to talk to you guys about shadow work, but it's definitely not, talking about it is not my forte. I want you guys to experience some of it, and that may bring up some questions for you too. But before I start the role play and the meditation, I want us just to hold some energy for some of the people in our group that have seems like wonderful things going on, but they need a little push. So I actually have 2 stones here with me. I have some cat's eye for luck, and I have some citrine for abundance. And we're sending out some energy, especially to Mindy and to Sophie for tomorrow. But I know there are other people in this group who have some things going on. So I think sending a little bit of extra energy to people definitely would help, especially because I don't think this will be a scary meditation by any means. A lot of people are scared of shadow work. I don't find it scary because it's stuff that's already in you anyway. It's not like you're inviting monsters into your psyche, like you're unraveling stuff that's already there and it already seeps out anyway. So I'd rather see it and know what it is and deal with it than just keep pushing it away and have it come out in a lot of uncontrolled ways. So it doesn't scare me, but it can be really intense. So I'm going to try to limit the intensity. That was also one of my counseling styles. I was never one of these epiphany kind of counselors, which I know some people like, and they like going to different spiritual leaders so they can have these epiphanies, and I think those are important, but I think long-lasting change often comes much more gradually. So I am not going to try and have you kind of bust open your biggest wounds this evening. I'm going to start very, very small. So we've got a few stones. I'm going to just hold them quickly. I'm just going to pause for a minute just to send out energy to everyone who's here and everyone who will be here in this group and everyone who's on the Facebook group for the Sacred Space Workshop. And if you guys can do the same and just channel all that energy, just send it, circle it around, send it to everyone in this group because I think a lot of people need it right now. This is kind of a difficult time of year for a lot of people. A lot of stuff happens around the holidays, and even if the holidays aren't challenging for you, anniversaries are often really challenging for people. So anniversaries when things happened, and a lot happens around the holidays. So just sending that out, sending everybody love, sending everybody a little bit of luck, which we all need, and abundance, which we definitely need around this time of year. So thank you for doing that with me. Okay, so I'm going to center myself, and then I am going to take you guys into meditation with me and our little role play for tonight. Hi. How are you doing? Good. All right. Are you feeling centered, grounded? Are you in a good place this evening? Because I'd like to take you to a bit of a more challenging room in your temple. Are you feeling pretty comfortable with your temple now? Good. Are you visiting it pretty regularly? Wonderful. Feel like a safe space? Great. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Well, I'm going to smudge a little bit. I think we all need a little bit of smudge today. So let me smudge for us and smudge our tools this evening. Get my Palo Santo. There we go. Okay. And just smudge you. Smudge me behind you. Smudge our tools behind me. Beautiful. That's all we need. Just Just a little clearing of the air. And let's circle the energies with a little bit of hand massage. So if you'll just give me your right hand. Just relaxing as you let the tension go in your hand. Let go of all the worries of the day, all the concerns that you may have. Massaging the palm, releasing all of the tension, massaging your wrists. Okay, and your other hand. Circling the energies around between us, bringing some power to this room. All right. Tonight I'm just going to do a little bit of brush massage to the four corners to call on the spirits, okay? All right. So I'm going to start with this shoulder. Just brushing a little bit back and forth. Calling on the spirits of the east, spirits of air, spirits of new beginnings. Crossing over. And behind you to the south. Calling on the spirits of fire and courage. And then to the shoulder. Calling on the spirits of the west, spirits of water and deep emotions. And the closing of the fall season. And then right in front of you, calling on spirits of the north, the spirits of grounding, the spirits of understanding. Please join us and assist us on this journey we all take tonight. Okay, are you feeling ready? All right. So just get comfortable and close your eyes. And we are now on the familiar path to your inner temple. The scenery all around is very clear at this point. Do you want to explore around your inner temple at some point? You definitely can now. About halfway there, I want you to turn around and look behind you. What is behind you on the path? Does the area behind you look welcoming or foreboding, or just neutral? Is there a clear path, or does it head off into a woods or over a hill into the mountains? What does it tell you about what you are leaving when you head towards your temple? When you are ready, I want you to continue to walk towards your temple, closer and closer. Does it look any different? Walk right up to the door, but place your hand on the door before you open it. What is the texture of the front door to your temple? Can you feel the energy behind it? Is it warm? Is it cool? Does it feel comforting? Or are you fearful to open the door? Take a deep breath now and open the door and enter the foyer of your temple. Does it look any different? I want you to look around for a door that you have not entered yet. This door may be a bit harder to find. It may be under a stairwell, maybe down a small hallway. It may be in the shadows in a corner. Look around for that door and approach it. Again, place your hands on this door. What is the door made of? What is the texture? Is it a rectangle or is it curved at the top? Is there a window? Is it warm or cold? Can you feel the energy pulsing behind the door? How do you feel getting ready to open this door? And when you feel ready, I want you to grasp the doorknob and open that door, walking in, knowing you are safe in this place. You enter into a large, glorious library with books on every wall. There are many, many seating areas in this room. Lots of places for people to congregate. And in a prominent place in this room, there's a podium with a large book on it. Take another look around this room and notice how you feel in this space. When you are ready, I want you to approach the podium with the opened book on it. You notice that on the left-hand side of the page, there is writing, but on the right-hand page, it is blank, and there are many pages behind it that are also blank. Shut the book so you can see the cover. Look at the cover. It is covered in leather. Is it ornate or plain? And there's a symbol carved on the front. Look closely at this symbol. You may place your hand on the symbol. How do you feel looking at this symbol? Do you feel like you've seen this symbol before? Does it have any meaning to you? You can trace the outline with your finger if you'd like. Pay close attention to how this symbol makes you feel as you place both hands on the cover of the book. Can you feel the energy in this book? Can you tell the importance of this book? And as you focus on the book, you know it is the story of your life that is continuing to be written. With your hands still on the book, I want you to set the intention that you will turn to a page with a part of your story that will teach you something. And that is important. Although the story may be very minor, but I want your intention to be that this will not be a traumatic or tremendously upsetting event. It may be something very small, but that will give you a lesson. And when you feel ready, I want you to intuitively turn to that page in the book, probably near the front. And you can begin to read this story. This story may not come to you in words like you are reading in a book. It may be a feeling. It may be a picture. It may be something nudging at the back of your mind. Continue to look at the page and take whatever you get of this story from your past. As you do, you feel a shadow start to form next to you and coalesce into the version of yourself that experienced this part of your story. And as you continue to look at the book and get more pieces from this part of your story, you feel a small hand in your hand and you grasp it. What you get may not make a lot of sense, and it may not be a coherent story. Again, it may just be a feeling. You may be with someone or alone. Feel the feelings. Hear what's around you if you can. Do you smell anything? What do you see? Is there a temperature where you are? Take whatever it is that you get. And when you are ready, I want you to turn to the version of yourself and take both of their hands and get to eye level with them. Thank them for holding this story for you. As you reflect on this story, you recognize that it is just that. It is a story, and it is clouded by your perception of what occurred, as well as your memory and how that may have changed over the years. Take one last look at the book and see if there is a moral at the end of this story. Let me give you more clarity. The moral has been put there by this version of you who lived through this experience. Now return to looking closely at this version of you. Tell them that you understand why they interpreted this experience the way they did, and validate their feelings around what occurred. Tell them that you understand what they tried to protect you from and what they tried to teach you through this interpretation of this experience and giving you this version of the story. Tell them that you are now strong enough to take this burden from them, that they no longer have to carry it alone, that you can learn this lesson and take from it what you need and discard what you don't, but that you understand that they were just trying to protect you and keep you safe. If this version of you hesitates to give you the burden, convince them that you have accomplished quite a lot in your life, and you have the ability to feel strong feelings, and you have the ability to hear this story and maybe even interpret it differently. You also have the ability to step out of this story altogether. As it is just that. And there may be many different interpretations of this experience. And that may change over time as well. Give this version of you a hug and thank them again. Let them know you see them and you care for them. Tell them that they can stay here in this place and be with you always, and that you acknowledge them. Find a comfortable place for this version of you to sit. And give them one final hug before you prepare to leave this room. You know your story is continuing to be written. But again, it is just that. Just a story. With one perspective out of infinite possibilities. Look once more around your room. And when you're ready, you can exit knowing that you can return to this room and will return many times, as there is a lot to learn. When you enter the foyer, look around and see if your guides have left anything for you. They may have left you an item to help give you some clarity on what just occurred in your library. If so, retrieve that item and thank them. Take another look around the foyer as you get ready to exit your temple. Walk through the door and begin down the path feeling a bit lighter. Knowing that a puzzle piece may have clicked into place. And I want you to begin to return to your physical body. You can wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you feel ready, open your eyes. How are you? It's intense. Again, it's no new information. It's always been there. It's just sometimes hard to access. Okay. You got your drinks? This is a good time to have something to drink. We're going to return more to our bodies. So I want you to really feel yourself grounded into the earth. It goes deep down. Feel the light going all the way through down your spine, going down into the earth, grounding you into that place. And I will release the spirits. Spirits of the North, I thank you and release you. Spirits of the West, I appreciate your time and I release you. Spirits of the South, thank you for assisting us. I release you. And spirits of the East, thank you for joining us and I release you. And now let's circle this energy around. Just massaging your hands, returning you to your body, bringing you down out of the ether so that you can move on with the rest of your day. Okay. I would ask that you hold off on shadow work until the next time we meet. First of all, because I think it's nice to take some time for that integration. You've done some integration here today with part of your shadow. It's good to let that sink in for a while. And shadow work can get really intense, so it's nice to have someone here to do it with you. So just hold off for at least a week, and we can talk about setting up some shadow work rituals in the future. Okay? All right. I'll see you next week. Bye. Hi, guys. It's chocolate time, if you have some. So, thank you, Tom. I do a lot of meditation, and not a lot makes it here. I really do workshops on things that have had a lot of impact for me. So, yeah, it's the things that changed my life that I want to make sure as many people can experience as possible. So, and shadow work's a real big one. It's intense. So we'll do that. Oh, I hope you're okay, Kate. But I know you can handle it. You can. Yeah. I've met some versions of myself. When I did this one, a lot of my shadow work has been different because it's been what I've been doing for the workshop, which is not this specifically. Mine this time was really very feeling based. There wasn't much of a story. And it was really about feeling upset about something that I'd done, and in the realm of things, it really was not something big, but it was a big life lesson for me as a child, and not wanting to feel that way again, and not realizing that, not allowing myself to make those mistakes and feeling like, okay, I made a mistake, and as a result of that mistake, I won't do that again. My reaction as a child was, I've made a mistake. I never, never, never want to make a mistake again because this feels awful. And layer upon layer built to some serious perfectionism that kept me from doing a lot of things. If I was not good at something very quickly, I did not do it. And I came up with reasons why I didn't like doing it anyway. So just now I'm starting to do things, probably in the past 3 or 4 years, doing things that I'm not always good at, and I may not be good at for a long time. It took me a long time to do ASMR videos that I was proud of, and I'm still quite often not proud of what I put out there, but I just keep making them, and some of them I am really proud of now. So, sorry, I gotta shift this closet. someday, someday. I have a very beautiful room in my temple where all of my recording equipment is always set up. And there's a comfortable pillow to sit on, and there is room to sit cross-legged without my knees hitting either wall. And I don't have to set up everything every time. So it is nice to visit that room and imagine the day when this will be what I do when I get up in the morning, and there will be a place to do it, even if it's just in my inner temple. At least it's there. So, not that this place is terrible, it's not, but there's not a lot of room to move around. So that was an intense one. I probably more so for some of you than others. I tried not to. Really tried to keep it from getting too crazy. The shadow work can be kind of crazy, although, you know, the part of me, again, it's stuff that's in there anyway, and it comes out. So if you have angry parts of you, if you have sad parts of you, they come out, and they come out often in out of proportion. Let's see now. All right, I think I am gonna be back. So, because it says there's viewers, so that's got to be you guys. I think I'll be back in a second. All right. So we'll see if I appear. I'm a few minutes delayed from you guys, so I think I'm back in. But that 10 o'clock Newfoundland time. See, I knew there was going to be something. Anytime they send you those alerts that there's going to be a problem, there's going to be a problem, even if it's not at the same time. So, okay, good. I'm back. All right, great. Okay, so thank you for bearing with me. And I want to do some readings. I want to do one quickly for Brittany if she's here. I'm going to use Power Thought cards because I think everybody's going to need some nice cards, some nice messages tonight. After that, it's very interesting to me. This Sacred Space workshop, when I was first thinking about it, seemed so light. And it's like, it's a fun way to learn how to do meditation. And it's really become rather intense. So I am so thankful that you guys are on this ride with me. So I'm going to get Brittany quick before I think she has to leave in like 5 minutes. So Brittany, I am at peace with my age. Each age has its own special joys and experiences. I am always the perfect age for where I am in life. And that's a pretty card too. Okay. So, I'm going to keep doing readings for people, but if you guys have any questions, I know you guys may need to process for a while. So I understand that. And that is perfectly fine if you guys need to process before we chat about it. But it is really helpful for me to know. I would really be interested in knowing if you guys were able to sort of read a story, or if it was more of a feeling, if it was coherent. Because it was funny for me because I have very vivid meditations, as you know. And when I did this meditation, it was not. And I've done a lot of really vivid shadow work. But this was really, it was from a very young age. And it was really a feeling more than a story, which is rare for me. My meditations are much more visual, although it's kind of clairsentient. Although I don't know, I don't have a lot of future feelings, but I in meditation I feel a lot, but it's usually more visual first. So it was interesting to me. So I'm gonna jump on with some of the people who I know are here. Kate, I'm gonna pull you a card. I'm drawn to pull you a card right now. I can release the past and forgive everyone. I free myself and everyone in my life from old past hurts. They are free, and I am free to move into new glorious experiences. I was listening to something interesting this week, and it was about how to move on, you have to embrace the things that happen in your past. And what the theory was is it's not forgiving someone or forgiving what happened, but it's embracing that that's what turned you into who you are now. And hopefully you're getting to a place, if you're not already, of liking, or at least being proud, or at least knowing that you do a lot of work to be who you are now, and that you wouldn't be that person without the experiences of your past. So, Kate, I'm so glad I pulled that card for you. And again, if that doesn't resonate with you, that's fine. And a lot of people say you do. You have to forgive. I don't know. I don't know if you have to forgive people. But I think you do need to say, you know, that situation has made me who I am. And that's the way it is. And for good or for bad, that's who I am. So I have to embrace what that is, and hopefully it's seen as, you know, for good, that even the bad stuff teaches us something. So, all right, so let me get other people who I know are here. Tom, I'm gonna give you a reading. Really, Tom, your meditations seem to be getting more and more vivid for you. Because if I remember correctly, you struggled a little bit with them when we first started doing them, right? Remind me if that is the case. Tom, you have, my healing is already in progress. Sorry, in process. My willingness to forgive begins my healing process. I allow the love from my own heart to wash through me, cleansing and healing every part of my body. I know I am worth healing. It's a nice one. Yeah, well, Kate, we can talk more about that. We're learning. We're learning. We make mistakes. And that's one of the things I learned from that. Not that I learned, this isn't the first time I learned that, but partly from this meditation is my mistakes are really important. My mistakes are some of the best things I ever did. Because I learned so much from them. So, you know, how are you going to learn if you don't make those mistakes? Well, that's a good way to get through it, Guy. Yeah, I don't let people hurt me over and over again. Not if I can prevent it. Guy, I'm going to pull this card for you. Guy, you are also at peace with your age, which is interesting because I think we have very different ages. Each age has its own special joys and experiences. I am always the perfect age for where I am in life. Most of you know that I recently had a 40th birthday. And I am just going to say, I know it's more for ladies than for men, but for the ladies that are afraid of 40, 40 is awesome. I would not go back even to 38. It's like my life has started at 40 because I found the spiritual practice and I was not ready for it before. And life is so much easier. Life is so much easier. I almost see like my 20s as, you know, I know a lot of people want to go back to their 20s, but 20s was like trial by fire. I mean, my life has been good, but in terms of anxiety and how nervous I was about everything and how hard everything was, 20s is tough. It's tough. And I had no idea what I wanted to be. And, you know, every once in a while I'll fall into, man, why didn't I find something like what I'm doing now when I was younger? And the funny thing is, what I'm doing now on YouTube didn't exist when I was younger. It didn't really exist in this form 5 years ago. So I couldn't have learned this. 40 is the best. And so don't fear it in any way, shape, or form. And I think I will probably keep saying that for many, many years to come, that the year I am in is the best one. So, all right. So the guy that was for you, Robin. Sorry, I'm checking people off my list because I want to make sure I never forget anybody. I claim my own power and I lovingly create my own reality. I think that's a great one for you, Robin. I ask for more understanding so that I may knowingly and lovingly shape my world and my experiences. My grandmother would say she was 29 every year, and she would often, I think on my like 15th birthday, she sent me a happy 4th birthday card. My grandmother was really set on being younger. But I honestly don't think, other than aches and pains, I don't think she minds being older. And I'm glad you feel that way, Guy. It's, yeah, I think for a lot of people, the health stuff is easier when you're younger, but honestly, I'm in much better health. In my 20s, I was 50 pounds heavier. I thought I hated exercising. This morning, I can't wait. Every morning, I can't wait to get up and do my yoga. If I have to rush out the door and can't do yoga in the morning, I walk or run or something almost every day. It's very rare that I don't. I work at a standing desk. So, all right, this one, I think I've gotten everybody who is here. I'm going to read this for Mindy, because Mindy might be here. I think she may not be able to respond. I accept my uniqueness, Mindy. Sending you so much love today, Mindy. There is no competition and no comparison. That's a good one for you today. For we are all different and meant to be that way. I am special and wonderful. I love myself. So, Mindy, there is no competition and no comparison. So if it is meant to be and it is the right fit for your uniqueness, it will be. And if it's not, then it wasn't the right fit anyway. So, oh, I like that one for you, Mindy. Okay, I'm going to pick one for, actually, I'm going to pick one for Sophie. I'm called to pick one for Sophie first because she will be watching this tomorrow. Then I'm going to pick a birthday card for Katie. I release all criticism, Sophie. I only give out that which I wish to receive in return. My love and acceptance of others is mirrored to me in every moment. Good. Good, good, Robin. Okay, so that is for Sophie. Post-exam. And this one is for Katie on her birthday. Katie on her birthday. Let's see what your fabulous birthday wish is. I did a really elaborate tarot spread for my birthday. That was kind of fun. All right, Katie. Life is simple and easy. All that I need to know at any given moment is revealed to me. I trust myself and I trust life all is well. That's what you need on your birthday. All is well. Trust your intuition. All right. Now I'll get Anselmo. And I want to pull one for Drew. I think Drew needs... Oh, Becky! Becky, you're here. I'm going to pull one for Becky first because she's here. Becky. My life works beautifully. Everything in my life works now and forevermore. Lovely. Okay, Anselmo. Oh, so I want to talk about next week. Next week is our last week. And I know you're saying, no, it's not. Yes, it is. Because I go away for Christmas on the 21st. So we are going to do session 6 on Tuesday. We are going to do session 7 on Friday. Session 7 is going to be your personalized meditations. If you're not there, it's fine. I'm still going to pull a card for you and do a personalized meditation for you. And I will send out a reminder in the Facebook group. It will probably be 7:30 just as usual, Tuesday, 7:30 on Friday. Just because I don't know. Actually, I know at my in-laws that the internet is not usually wonderful, so I'm not going to even try to do it from there. So, all right. So this is for Anselmo. Everything in my life works now and forevermore. Same card. My life. Oh no, it's not. My life works beautifully. It's a nice one. I thought that was one I had already pulled. I guess not. So next week we will do a very interesting room that allows us to travel to other places. It's kind of our time and space travel room. So we'll see how that goes, and then we'll do the personalized. And I'm really interested in doing the personalized too, Tom, because I don't know what's going to come from the personalized with this one. Again, like this is a very different one. So maybe we'll visit some different rooms in our temples, or maybe we'll go out in the yard. I don't know. So this one is for Drew. Life supports me, Drew. Life created me to be fulfilled. I trust life, and life is always there at every turn. I am safe. Good message for Drew. And the only other person I have here is Melissa, who I don't think is with us this evening. Let me pull one for Melissa. Do ask me about Shadow. Let me know if you can make it on Friday. I'm sorry for those of you who were not expecting Friday. I meant to warn you guys earlier, but as always, this month snuck up on me. So Melissa, divine wisdom guides me, and I think this is a great one for Melissa. I don't know Melissa terribly well, but if you read Melissa's feed on Facebook, I am guided throughout this day in making the right choices. Divine intelligence continuously guides me in the realization of my goals. That's a good one for Melissa. All right, folks. So thank you for taking this journey with me today. I know it may have been intense. And so take good care of yourself tonight. If you need to go to bed early, for those of you other than Tom, who it's already the wee hours of the morning, go to bed early. If you need to lay around and read a trashy novel, do that. If you need to meditate a little bit more, maybe go into your healing room and get some healing after that. Maybe go and raise your vibration a little bit in your manifestation room. Maybe go and get some guidance from your guides. Maybe just go into your room of requirement if you don't know what you need. If you don't know what you need, it'll be there. For me, it would be, I will probably go into my healing room for a little bit and get a little treatment to get me through the rest of the week. And I will see you guys on Tuesday for some traveling. And I will see you guys on Friday. Not this coming Friday, next Friday. Don't know what the date is. For personalized meditations, which are always amazing and always kind of wrap up the workshop quite beautifully for me. So, all right, guys, I love you. I'm so happy to have been here tonight, and it really does turn what felt like a long week into a new beginning after doing this with you guys. So have your chocolate, have your tea, have your wine, if you are of age, and I will talk to you guys again soon. And I'll be in the Facebook group tomorrow, see how things are going, if you guys have any updates for me. Okay, good night, everybody.